How would the two strongest monsters of their time fare against each other? Welcome to Ackerman Recap. Let's watch Musashi and Yujiro's battle together today. While Yujiro was on vacation, Motobe came to find him. As they began to converse, Yujiro mentioned that it was time to meet Musashi. Motobe advised Yujiro against it because Musashi was too strong compared to him. Motobe said seriously, "Don't worry, I'll protect you," or those words struck at Yujiro's pride, and he stood up and asked again, "What did you just say? I'll tear you apart." Before anything could happen, Motobe used a smoke bomb to make a hasty escape. Yujiro felt an indescribable emotion welling up inside him. It was the first time someone had spoken to him like that. The feeling of humiliation made Yujiro furious.
Yeah, boy.
Musashi was sitting and sensed an impressive power from the other side of the door. Yujiro walked in, and all three of them sat down, sharing a drink amidst the fear of Tokugawa. A huge mountain of gold with countless gold bars appeared in front of Musashi's eyes, much to Musashi's surprise. The strongest samurai asked Yujiro if he saw anything in him. Yujiro replied that he only saw a legendary swordsman sitting in front of him, a dream turned into reality. Musashi felt a bit disappointed that Yujiro didn't see more in him. He recounted his glorious days with beautiful women, countless treasures, and extravagant feasts. Musashi wanted to recreate those things in this era of science, to become the brightest star once again. After saying that, Musashi used the imitation cut technique on Yujiro, but Yujiro continued to sit there and drink normally. This left Musashi extremely surprised, as for the first time, someone had received that strike without feeling pain like Yujiro. Musashi's sensation at this moment wasn't cutting into flesh, it was cutting into an incredibly sturdy armor. Musashi's dream was something Yujiro didn't want to shatter in the slightest. He requested Musashi to use a real sword if he wanted to win. Yujiro raised his finger, forcefully punched the neck of a bottle, and a shard hit Musashi's forehead, leaving a perfect cut as if it were done with a diamond cutting glass. "Get a sword for him, old man," Yujiro ordered. Both of them stepped outside, and Musashi obtained two legendary swords from the past. Musashi unsheathed the blade, but before he could strike, Yujiro's strong hand grasped it. "Musashi, stop fooling around," Yujiro said, and then he delivered an incredibly powerful push with the palm of his hand, sending Musashi flying backward. Despite being unconscious, Musashi still held onto the sword tightly and lifted Yujiro into the air, something that very few martial artists could achieve. Musashi had yet to recover fully, and both of them were gripping swords tightly. Sensing his opponent's refusal to let go, Yujiro swung the sword forcefully in a circle, but Musashi held on firmly. Later, Musashi regained consciousness and praised the man standing before him. Musashi exerted his strength and asked Yujiro to hold the sword tightly. Yujiro's foot sunk into the stone floor. Even though the sword belonged to Musashi, it was now in Yujiro's hand. Sensing that his strikes were ineffective, Musashi swiftly lifted Yujiro into the air and forcefully swung him backward. This move forced Yujiro to release his grip on the sword. After this strike, Yujiro realized the strength of his opponent and was compelled to resort to his demon face. Toku, filled with fear, stood outside praying. Musashi closed in at an incredibly fast speed and struck at Yujiro. Yujiro kicked Musashi's hand and dodged the attack, but the speed was still not enough, and he got cut on his thigh. Yujiro leaped again to dodge the attack, and for the first time the world's strongest man surrendered the stage to his opponent, continuously evading Musashi's strikes. Both of them locked eyes with intense hostility. In a moment, Musashi closed in on his opponent. However, his strike only caused a minor scratch on Ogre's side as Musashi's hand had been grabbed by Yujiro. The legendary swordsman intended to strike again with his right hand, but he received a powerful kick to the groin. The sensation was one that every man could understand, and the sword passed across Yujiro's face. The most legendary swordsman, even though unconscious, still had the habit of never letting go of his sword. However, this time, the excruciating pain forced him to release it, a pain that was unimaginable for the undefeated swordsman. In that excruciating pain, Musashi managed to stand up, displaying an unimaginable level of endurance. Musashi asked for the name of the powerful opponent before him, or confidently introduced himself, Hanma Yujiro, also known as the strongest man. Yujiro praised his opponent for being able to inflict damage on a body as tough as metal. The legendary swordsman handed his swords to Toku. This time, he would fight bare-handed. Even though he had discarded his real swords, Musashi never let go of them. Musashi leapt forward, reaching Orge's side and delivered a strike, but it only resulted in a superficial wound on Orge. This time, the imitation cut was no longer a mere illusion. It was the pinnacle of dual swordsmanship, completely replacing the real swords. The strongest swordsman stepped forward once again, delivering a powerful strike, but this time, Motobe intervened from somewhere, catching the blow to protect Yujiro. Motobe collapsed unconscious to the ground. In his anger, Yujiro slapped him hard and shouted, "What the hell? Do you think you're protecting me?" He was about to hit Motobe further in anger when Musashi said, "That's enough, Mr. Hanma." The battle ended in a draw, as the winner was yet to be determined. What are your thoughts on this battle? Who do you think is stronger? Please share your comments. The video has come to an end. Please leave your comments in the comments section, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay updated with the latest videos from me. For now, goodbye and see you again, everyone.